Hello, you all. Welcome back to the channel. If you've watched before, and if you're new, welcome to the channel. This is In Pursuit of Life with Sabrina, and I am aiming to find life in the middle of chronic diseases and after cancer. But I have a warning. I wanted to do this warning. It's just been on me so strong that I needed to warn people. When you get diagnosed with a disease like cancer or some other chronic disease, you would think that people would have compassion and empathy for you, and sometimes they do. There's situations where that has happened, but not most of the time, but I'd say about 50% of the time, a lot of us have not had that situation. We become a liability. We become an easy target. I'm going to explain that a little later. And the companies that we work for, they're, no matter our value, if they're trying to move up the ladder, they might see you as someone who might slow down their progress. So they will come after you. And that's kind of what happened to me in a subtle way. They kind of tried to make it seem like it was my fault when I came back, still going through chemo, having to go through radiation. Excuse me, guys, my lungs are a little irritated. But it was not me, it was them. My numbers were still high. And I was just going through one of the worst things that anybody could ever go through. Had not even been going through it a good 6 months. And I look back now, and I should have left a lot sooner, like a month or two sooner. Friends and family were telling me, you need to leave. And I even had one of my sweet Christian trainers. She had another business on the side. She was saying, Miss Sabrina, you need to leave this job. And she said, they do not value you and they will kill you. And my doctors finally got wind of what was happening, and my white blood count was low, and they were like, we're not gonna give you permission to go back. Because after being 4 days in the hospital, I was not seeing any kind of compassion or anything. And they weren't either. And they were like, no, we're not giving you medical clearance to go back. And I thank God they did that. And that hurt me. And so I had another job, I'll talk about that later after then, that was a surprise as to how bad it was. But it was the job after that where I was working for someone that I really trusted. And they were, Christian. They said they were Christian, had a Christian company. And I came in and I used my skills as a coordinator and the other leadership skills I did. And we were able to increase the volume of their business threefold. But I was making lower than I'd ever made in my life, you all. And family and friends were telling me at some point when I had advised the owner of something and they didn't listen. And so it was on me to tell people we couldn't pay them, and I didn't get paid. And it took like 2 months for us to get back on track. I should have left right then, but I didn't, you all, because I didn't know my value. And one of the things what you know up here and what you're able to do, you're still worthy of the amount of money you were making before the diagnosis. So if you see something, leave. And I ended up not leaving, and this person profiteered off of me. It wasn't the last time that they just didn't pay me to benefit themselves. The second time was even more hurtful, and that's when I knew, okay, we got a lot of things on the books, I'm leaving. And I gave a big notice that I was leaving. I started preparing. But when I left that job, I was not out, for the better, but they were doing much, much better than I was. And I had helped them, but I didn't see it in my pocketbook. And I learned a lesson. And I'm glad I learned that lesson, because after then, because I wasn't working, and people don't understand what it means to have chronic fatigue, to have chronic pain, to not know when you're going to wake up and feel sick or whatever. They don't get it. So they think you're just not working. So they're coming to you, these little businesses or whatever, people are coming to them, and they're trying to get you to work, not understanding that you are now in a different world of healing, and your body can't do what it used to do. And so offers to where people want to come in and pay you a little bit of money to fix their business is not something you should do, because it is going to hurt you in the long run physically, and you're still not going to have the money. For the amount of work you're going to have to put in, you're not going to have the money. And I figured that out. I prayed, I learned my lesson, and I did a lot of prayer, and every single offer that came in was not good. But what really helped me was my friends who had their own businesses. I have one friend, and she would hire me in occasionally to help her with her with some interviews, and I helped her with some manuals, doing, writing some manuals and training stuff. And she paid me what I was worth for the time that I worked. And I didn't work a long time. I would come in for an hour or two, and she paid me what I was worth. And that's what built me up when I saw that I was valuable. So I just want you to know you are valuable. Just because you can't have the physical energy to do what you used to do, you're still valuable. That knowledge you have up there and that know-how, man, it's amazing. So find a way to do it to where you're going to get the money you're worth, so that you're not just, because you're sick, you're not some person that's begging on the street, or some pauper, because that's the way a lot of people see you. I mean, and I hate to say this, and I'm not speaking that into existence. I've just experienced it in the church and outside the church. But I've also seen the others. So gravitate towards those people who are genuinely concerned about you, and are concerned about your well-being, and who understand your situation, and love you, and have compassion and empathy, because you are worth it, and you can get through this without killing yourself. Because I've had several friends kill themselves trying to keep up, and their bodies couldn't keep up, and they couldn't fight off the cancer, they couldn't fight off whatever that came. Don't kill yourself for it. God will help you. And just know you're valuable, and I validate you. And some of that stuff you've been through, if nobody ever told you it was wrong, I'm telling you it was wrong if you've gone through similar situations. So anyway, that's it. You all have a great day. I hope I helped you here, or maybe it'll help someone else. So remember to have courage in adversity, have courage in pain. Everything we are doing to move forward is not done in vain. You have a great day. Bye.